Hey all, Nick here at Blood Cells. This video is a quick overview of a new utility called Makeup and Manipulate, also known as MUM for short. It's a combination of a few things. A variable gain preamp, switchable between plus 10 and plus 40 dB of gain, which works great for any sort of signal, modular or line level. And it's also high impedance enough to work great with guitars and contact mics without sucking out the low end and making things harsh. There's also a clipping switch. It has a built-in VCA and also a very performable momentary pulse button for manually gating the signal on and off without any clicks. Also, you can run any type of signal through MUM, whether CV or audio, switchable here. All right, let's take a little functionality tour and see how it works. Starting with a similar drone to what I used in the video from Mangle, just because I'm already kind of set up for it here. So we're going to start in the on mode here, which latches the channel on. We are set for AC. Of course, if you're using MUM to manipulate CV rather than audio, flip that switch to DC. And we're coming in roughly modular level, so we'll keep that switch set at plus 10 dB max, and we can adjust our gain accordingly here, keeping our eye on the 3-color level LED here. I'm just going to keep it at Unity for now, it's good enough. By the way, the Unity mark here applies only to the plus 10 dB mode here. As long as you're not applying clipping or additional gain with the CV input, what comes in is what goes out level-wise. Okay, if you want to get into some clipping, let's flip that guy on and start creeping up the level. We can go a lot further than that. Let's just go back down and flip over to plus 40. Start working our way up again. We haven't talked about the VCA quite yet, but there's a little Easter egg. You can get extra gain here by turning the VCA level up even further with nothing patched into CV in. So we can get a little crazy. Alright, let's get back to some normalcy here. Alright, so one of my favorite things to do is to manually gate signals and make things stutter. And that idea is partly what drove me to make this module to begin with. So while we're in on mode here, we can use the pulse button to perform a push to mute function. Pulse it, hold it down, that kills the channel. Also note this has a tiny built-in fade in and fade out, so it's totally clickless and smooth. And something else in this mode, the pulse out jack, which is wired into the scope right now, and you can see it reflected on the red line here. That's going to put out plus 5 volts when the button is off. And while we push the button down, it goes down to 0 volts. So we can see that flipping over there. You can use that pulse out to trigger whatever you'd like in your rack. Now let's go check out off mode, which of course kills the channel. So from here you can use the pulse button as a push to talk instead, meaning your signal is unmuted when the button is held down. So in this mode, the pulse out jack is going to put out 5 volts when the button is down and 0 volts when the button is off. And that's a good moment to use it to trigger something else in the rack as well. That could be like a short envelope to duck out another voice for a moment, or you could use it to trigger a kick or whatever you want. So some extra details about the off mode here. So from here you can use the VCA as you normally would use a VCA. With the CV input unpatched, you can manually turn up the CV level here. Set whatever level you'd like there. The pulse button still will work. So you could set like a minimum level with your CV level knob, then push this to push things a little further manually if you'd like. And of course you can also patch in like an envelope or something to the CV input and set the level as you'd like. So that's like the basic functionality of mum. Let's check out some other sources. So warning, I am an absolutely abysmal guitar player. I'm not even going to pretend. I'm just going to play some open chords on this Epiphone SG while I turn the gain up, and we'll see what it sounds like. And you can tell we're starting to break up a bit. Let's try some clipping. Fairly chunky. All right, so this is what a contact mic would sound like through mum. Straightforward piezo mic stuck in a metal box with some stuff from the hardware store. My neighbors are loving me right now. Okay, also I've been a big fan of these old RCA dynamic mics from the 60s, ever since I found one in my parents' basement. These are fun things to patch in. So you get the idea. There's a few different sources going through mum for you. Lastly, mum is also a great companion module to go with our Passive Mangle module, which is here. There's another video you can watch on that, but either using mum post-mangle to apply makeup gain, so you can bring up some voltage-starved stuff coming out of mangle to a workable level, or you can put a pre-mangle to, say, get a guitar up to level, and then use mangle as a crazy distortion, or what have you. So that about does it on this video. As usual, please let me know if you have any questions, and we'll talk to you soon.